Big plans are in the works to improve the Hilton Head Airport. The future of ferry service to Daufuskie Island is up for debate, and the Hilton Head housing market shows signs of improvement. All that and much more. Keep watching. Your Hilton Head News starts now. Thanks for watching the Hilton Head News. I'm Jenny Lockhart in for Alan McNair, and here are your local headlines. Plans are in the works to improve both the Hilton Head and Ladies Island airports. The $1.9 million project would add more seating, security areas, and restrooms to the Hilton Head Airport terminal. Plans for $25 million in infrastructure and safety upgrades at the Beaufort County Airport on Ladies Island are also being discussed by the Airports Board. The Island Packet reports that a project is moving forward that will allow homes on the northern end of Hilton Head Island to hook up to sewer lines and end their reliance on septic tanks. By next year, 60 of about 600 homes that still lack access to sewer service should get it through a cooperative effort of Hilton Head Public Service District and the town of Hilton Head Island. Residents will have a choice if they want to use the sewer lines, as there is cost involved in getting connected, as well as monthly service fees for sewer service. Jobs are coming to Beaufort County thanks to a new manufacturing plant in Beaufort's Commerce Park. EcoDual Incorporated develops dual fuel conversion systems that enable heavy-duty diesel trucks to operate on 60% natural gas. The cleaner fuel allows truck fleet owners to reduce operating costs. The expansion to Commerce Park will create over 300 jobs over the next 5 years, according to a news release from the South Carolina Department of Commerce. The company, which has apparently been based in Beaufort for at least 18 months, chose to remain in the city in part because of the local universities and military bases that produce workers with high-tech skills. EcoDual will work with Ready, South Carolina on hiring and training workers. Although no specific dates have been released for when hiring will begin, those interested in job opportunities may contact EcoDual at careers@ecodual.com. Noise is the factor determining if Salty Fair dock owner S. Kittredge Collins will be allowed to continue to offer watercraft rentals on a permanent basis. Collins owns the dock on which Michael Moy's On the Water Hilton Head has been renting Sea-Doos thanks to an error made in the town's business license office. Moy has invested $60,000 in the watercraft after he was told incorrectly that the rentals were allowed back in February. Residents of the Cypress of Hilton Head are worried rentals of the Sea-Doos at the nearby dock will be noisy and disruptive to their neighborhood. Collins plans to put those fears to rest with the demonstration of the Sea-Doos. The dock has been historically used for ferry travel to Daufuskie, but as ferry traffic has declined sharply, the rentals are an attempt to make his property more profitable. The Town of Hilton Head Island Planning Commission voted to postpone a decision about the rentals until August. The Island Packet reports that Beaufort County officials have proposed spending $50,000 to study long-term transportation plans for ferry service to Daufuskie Island. County Administrator Gary Kubik says he wants to talk with experts from New York, Seattle, and other places with successful ferry service to come up with a long-term plan. Kubik cited the constant threat of uncertainty around ferry transportation services as a contributor to the dramatic drop in property values on Daufuskie. The J&W Corporation is currently providing the ferry service, which costs the county about $250,000 annually. The service is critical for hundreds of island residents. Final approval on money for the study is expected soon. The Hilton Head Island real estate market continues to rebound from the recession, according to data from South Carolina Realtors, which shows sales for May were up 6% over May of last year. The median sales price was $275,000, which is up 18% from last year. Most of the growth is at the lower end of the market, as sales of higher-end waterfront homes have been slower to recover. And here's what's happening around the state. Beaufort and Jasper County residents have been charged in an undercover investigation of gun and drug trafficking. Out of 33 people charged in Operation Pulaski, 10 are from Hilton Head, Bluffton, Ridgeland, and Hardeeville. Undercover federal agents infiltrated multiple regional and international criminal organizations, buying a variety of guns, illegal drugs, according to a news release from the U.S. Attorney's Office in Southern District of Georgia. Authorities say 26 of those arrested are convicted felons, while 11 are believed to have been in the country illegally. State health officials are testing the staff and clients of a Myrtle Beach homeless shelter after a former resident developed tuberculosis. The Sun News of Myrtle Beach reports testing is being conducted at the Street Reach Ministries shelter. Mark Plowden with the Health Department and Environmental Control says the former resident was admitted to the hospital with infectious respiratory disease May 27th and was released about a week later. Health officials have been dealing with the TB outbreak at 96 Primary School in Greenwood County. Since May, more than 600 people associated with the school have been tested for tuberculosis. Of those, 74 have tested positive for exposure to the disease, and a dozen have developed tuberculosis. Stick around because we have Lynne Hummell with our Hot Off the Press report and Charlie Clark from the Hilton Head Island-Bluffton Chamber of Commerce with our business report after the break.
I'm here at the top of the Harbortown Lighthouse with Nadia Wagner. She's the lighthouse keeper. Nadia, this is a Hilton Head icon, but many people don't realize it's so much more.
It is, Debbie. The view is so thrilling. Many people don't realize you can climb to the top. We've had many marriage proposals, even weddings. You can shop at the top for gifts you won't find anywhere else and wave to friends and family on our live webcam. It's the high point of the Lowcountry.
You do not want to miss this view. What's the admission cost, Nadia?
It's only $3.75 per person, and kids 5 and under are free.
Make this a must-see while you're here on Hilton Head. Thanks, Nadia.
Thank you. See you soon.
Welcome back to the Hilton Head News. Joining me now is Lynne Hummell with the Hilton Head Sun and our Hot Off the Press report. Hi Lynne, thanks for joining us.
Hi Jenny, how are you?
Great. Now we mentioned earlier there are some residents concerned about noise in their neighborhood. Can you go into more detail about their complaints?
Sure. Some of the residents in the Cypress, which is in Hilton Head Plantation, have said that personal watercraft, which we sometimes call jet skis, are making too much noise in Skull Creek behind their homes, and they have pointed to a water sports rental company at Salty Fair Landing as the culprit. Some islanders might remember this area as the former embarkation point for Daufuskie Island Club, which is now defunct, and the area has been pretty much unused for several years until recently. Now, the owner of the rental company has a business license from the town of Hilton Head, though the town now says that it was given in error. And the owner says that the watercraft aren't all that noisy, that the waterway is open to anyone and who rides from any rental company, and he should be allowed to keep his business there. So the Planning Commission last week heard from all parties and want them to try to reach a resolution, but the decision has been delayed until August.
Now, do we know what's causing this delay?
Well, there's several things. I think they want to study it a little bit more, and also Kit Collins, who is the owner of Salty Fair Landing, has invited the residents to come down to the dock to listen more closely to the actual level of noise. He said that his dock and the surrounding area need this rental income from this watercraft company, and that he also wants his residents at the Cypress to work with him to help revive Salty Fair into an asset that everybody can enjoy. So it's hoped that over the next few weeks that all the parties can reach an understanding.
Well, and we'll stay tuned to see what is decided.
That will be interesting.
Now, Steve Baer, who represents a portion of Hilton Head on Beaufort County Council, has questioned the withholding of funds for our library system. Can you tell us why that is?
Right. Councilman Baer is wondering why nearly $741,000 in money designated for the libraries hasn't been spent over the past 3 years, while the library hours and other programs have been cut. And nearly half of that amount is unlikely to be spent this year. Baer contends that county administrators are holding the money in a cash reserve fund where it gets dumped in with other unspent money and could later be spent on items that were not budgeted. And other council members aren't really so concerned, saying that it's not really necessary that every department spend every nickel allocated if it's not needed, and that this is just a sign of prudence.
Well, now, will the policy for reserve fund transfers be changing anytime soon?
Well, that's possible. Finance Committee Chair Stu Rodman says that he expects the debate on a new policy will begin in July, and that is something that Baer has been pushing for several months.
Well, Lynne Hummell, as always, keeping us up to speed. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny.
And with me now is Charlie Clark with the Hilton Head Island-Bluffton Chamber of Commerce and our Hot Off the Press report. Hi, Charlie.
Hi there.
Now, I had the pleasure of meeting Lisa Sulka, Bluffton's mayor, recently, and we were talking about branding Bluffton. Can you tell us, with regard to marketing, how the Lowcountry's uniquely special Bluffton community is being approached?
You know, absolutely. We're partnering with Lisa Sulka, Mayor Sulka, and the town of Hilton Head Island, along with USCB and USC, to do some research. You know, Bluffton has grown dramatically, over 883% in the last 10 years.
Wow.
That kind of growth brings a lot of good to the table, as well as needing to maybe define who they are a little bit more. So we'll be working with them on a series of charrettes that are coming up here right around the corner.
Now, it sounds like there are a lot of opportunities to take part in. Can you fill us in on those?
Yeah, sure. The charrettes. Charrettes are really basically a coming together of stakeholders. We really wanted to get the input of the entire community. Who is Bluffton? You know, we always hear about the Bluffton state of mind. Let's define the Bluffton state of mind.
Yeah.
And it's really important, you know, from a branding perspective of who we are, and it's important on two fronts. It's important from an economic development standpoint. People want to know who you are, kind of defining your brand, as well as from a tourism standpoint for Bluffton. You know, Bluffton does definitely get its fair share of tourism as well. So it's kind of important as Bluffton is really being proactive and looking towards the next phase of who they are as a community. This branding project goes a long way in that endeavor.
Well, and what a great thing for the community to take advantage of, to be involved in helping shape that brand.
Oh, absolutely. You know, you have a brand whether you know it or not.
Right.
I mean, destinations, not just products. People often think of product branding, but if you look at different communities, look at Silicon Valley, look at the Research Triangle in North Carolina. From an economic development standpoint, you think there's a certain thought that comes to mind with those. Even from a vacation standpoint, look at Hilton Head Island, a definite brand.
Absolutely.
Nantucket, Cape Cod, a few other destinations who have branding. So it's really important that you sort of define your own brand before somebody else defines it for you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the neat thing about the charrettes, is coming together, everyone at the same time, stakeholders, residents, the town, businesses, to kind of help define that. Those are going to be happening this week in Bluffton at Oscar Fraser, the Rotary Bluffton Park there. And we want everybody to come out from 4 to 7 and kind of give us their input on what they believe the Bluffton brand is all about.
Now, has growth in the Lowcountry contributed to the area's community branding?
Absolutely. You know, as we always say, you know, business does not stop at the bridge. So what's happening in Bluffton really impacts the region as a whole. So it's important. I think it's great that everyone's sort of working together in this endeavor. It does have a strong economic impact in the future by defining who you are, who you want to be. That goes a long way when it comes to attracting businesses and attracting tourists.
Now, how will the outcome of the charrettes contribute to the growth of Bluffton?
Well, I think it's going to really help the town of Bluffton define which direction they're headed. When it comes to economic development, that's pretty important, to be laser focused on which way you're headed and what you're all about as a community and what you have to offer. So I think coming out of these charrettes and out of the Bluffton branding process, the town of Bluffton and its residents and businesses are going to have a pretty clearly defined opportunity to kind of put that message out to the world from a business perspective and tourism.
Absolutely. Well, lots of exciting things happening in Bluffton.
Yes.
Thank you for your time this morning, Charlie. And stay with us. Coming up, we have Linda Piekut with the Heritage Library Foundation and Mary Amonitti with the Daufuskie Report. Stay tuned.
The Westin Hilton Head Island Resort and Spa is celebrating its grand renewal. Relax and unwind at the totally renovated resort featuring new pools, lush gardens and courtyards, guest rooms, ballroom, main lobby, conservatory, and more. Enjoy family fun on the beach, improve your game with unparalleled golf, indulge your senses with newly inspired Lowcountry cuisine in our refreshed restaurants including Oceanfront View 32 and Barony Bar, and rejuvenate at the Heavenly Spa. Stay for a night, a weekend, or more at the Westin Hilton Head Island Resort and Spa. Be well, be Westin.
Welcome back to the Hilton Head News. With me now is Linda Piekut with the Heritage Library Foundation. Hi, Linda. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Hi, Jenny. It's very nice to be here today.
Now, for those of us not familiar with the Heritage Library, could you please tell us about it?
The Heritage Library is a genealogy and local history research library. We've been on the island for 16 years.
And now, can you tell us what the genealogy department encompasses?
The genealogy department is our base. That's where we started in 1997. And we have a lot of online databases for people to use, plus a lot of the genealogy books that they can come in and use as well. And genealogy is really the main reason that people come into the library.
find out about their family's ancestry,
Yes.
things of that nature?
Yes.
Now, there's a history department as well, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, our history department started when the library merged with the Hilton Head Historical Society in 2005. And with that merger, we gained 2 properties. We own the Zion Chapel of Ease Cemetery at Matthews Drive and 278.
Okay.
And we also own Fort Mitchell.
Oh, wow.
And so we've done a lot of work with those 2 properties, but then we also have collected a lot of historical information about Hilton Head.
So it's kind of a resource for all sorts of different things.
Correct, yes.
Now, can you tell us about some of the other responsibilities of the library?
Right now we've got a project that we're working on. It's a collaborative project. We're looking for the original inhabitants of Mitchellville.
Okay.
This is part of the Civil War sesquicentennial, and this is a collaborative project with the Native Island community, the University of Clemson Pan-African Studies, as well as some other organizations, and it's funded by grants from the Community Foundation of the Lowcountry and the Bargain Box.
Oh, wow. Now, for someone wanting to visit the library, can you tell us where you're located and what your hours are?
I can. We are 852 William Hilton Parkway, and we're on the 2nd floor. The hours are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 until 3.
Okay, and lastly, tell us about the exciting project that you're planning right now.
We have a very exciting project right now. About a year ago, our founder, Bill Alstetter, realized that 2013 was going to be a pretty significant year in the history of the island. Mm-hmm. And so we are celebrating the first week in October, the 350-30 celebration.
Okay.
Which is the celebration of the 350th anniversary of the sighting of Hilton's Head by Captain William Hilton.
Oh, wow.
And the 30th anniversary of the incorporation of the town of Hilton Head Island. So we're working with the town and the Chamber and Coastal Discovery and a multitude of other organizations to put on a week-long event the first week in October.
That sounds fantastic. Well, Linda, thank you so much for joining us and for letting us know about the Heritage Library.
Thank you for having me today, Jenny. Thank you.
And with me now is Mary Amonitti from the Binyah Foundation with our Daufuskie report. Hi, Mary.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Great. Now, we mentioned briefly earlier about the ferry system study. Could you please tell us more about it?
Well, Beaufort County Council has proposed $50,000 for a long-term study with regards to the ferry system. As most of the people that are watching know, that there's very limited service, and there is one company that has a contract to ferry people back and forth to Daufuskie Island. There are 3 different contracts, and we are hoping that the county council will take into effect that if they combine these 3 contracts, perhaps that could be a savings measure for the county. So we're looking and hoping that with this study going on, and that they will get to it right away and not prolong it.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure that would be very important, especially for the people that live there.
Oh yes, because what is happening, the property has suffered over there because the uncertainty of people being able to get to their homes, other than the folks that do not live at Hague Point, which have their own boat, but the people outside do not have public transportation over there on a frequent basis.
Okay. Now, word is there's a Native American group that's interested in visiting Daufuskie. Can you tell us about it?
Oh, yes. I am so excited about this. For 7 years, I served on the South Carolina Commission for Minority Affairs, and I had the opportunity to work with many Native American tribes. And in South Carolina, there's 1 federally recognized tribe. There are 7 state recognized tribes. There are 5 special groups, and then there are 2 special interest groups that have been recognized by the state. And they are looking to come to Daufuskie Island. They're thinking about doing a campground meeting. And I'm working with Chief Louis Chavis of the Beaver Creek Indians out of Lexington.
That's great. Now, can you tell us some ways that native Daufuskie Islanders can improve on their land and share the history of this island with visitors?
Well, one of the ways to do that is if we get some ferry service over there that we run on a regular
that's the
basis.
first step, right?
Because that will enhance the economy over there.
Sure.
And when you think about as Daufuskie is developing, people will be working there, and transportation is a problem.
Absolutely.
But one of the ways that they're trying to do, the native Daufuskians are trying to bring back awareness of the rich history that's over there. And there are different programs that are going on that are improving some of the properties, and you're going to hear a lot more about that in the near future.
Okay. And now you're here with the Bignot Foundation, so can you let us know of some plans that you have for events on the island?
Well, the one thing we're talking about now, and we've been talking with some of the native Daufuskians, is to have what they call a family reunion.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be a big event. That is in the talks now, and we're also planning to go forward with that to bring awareness, and hopefully we will get the community involved in that, because that is huge to have a family reunion on Daufuskie Island with the natives of Daufuskie.
Well, that's great. And I know you wanted to mention something with regard to hurricane season.
Yes, I was in a meeting last week with SCE&G, and they want the people in this area, and especially those that live and visit Daufuskie Island, to be aware that we are in hurricane season, and hopefully they have all received their hurricane guides, and they would like for them to call them if they have any questions. Their customer service line is open 24/7, and I would like to repeat that number here for the individuals that may not have it handy, but they can call SCE&G at 800-251-7234. It's very important because once the season starts, if a storm is coming, they want to make sure that they're prepared.
Well, thanks, Mary, for joining us, and thank you for joining us. I'm Jenny Lockhart, and join us next time for your Hilton Head News.
Welcome to Brown Golf, where playing here has its rewards. Purchase a 20-round package of golf prior to May 1st, 2013, and receive a full day with yours truly. That's 18 holes of golf, 2-hour mini school, and lunch. To purchase that package, go to browngolfmanagement.com. That's browngolfmanagement.com. Now, let's go humble the golf course.